Hi dear students, welcome back to my session. In our previous session, we discussed the statement of superposition theorem and we learned the basic conditions of superposition theorem and we saw the basic procedure for the solving by using superposition theorem methods and we solved one of the problem within the integers, not in numerical values. So in this class, we are going to be solve few problems by using the numerical terms in these sessions, right? Please, if you have any doubt in superposition theorem statement and rules and conditions, please kindly go through my previous session. Then after that, if you understand all the concepts, then come back to this further session. This is the continuation of superposition theorem. And in this session, we are going to be solve few problems by using the especially superposition theorem only, right? Right. Let me read the problem. Find the current through the 100 ohms resistor in the following figure. So here the current sources are there. I already said you can apply current sources. You can apply superposition theorem to current sources or voltage sources or mixed sources or either voltage sources or current, the mix of voltage source and current sources. So in this example, I took it as a only especially current sources. Now let's see how the problem is going to be solved. So as you know, in this first find the current through the 100 ohms. Let me add my marker. You want to know the current flowing through the 100 ohms. This is the 100 ohms resistor. He doesn't know the downwards or upwards. That is your interest only. Based on the negative or positive, you can decide that is upwards or downwards. So find the current through the 100 ohm resistor due to the current source IS1 by replacing IS2 with open, and I shown in figure. As you can see, the entire 10 milliamps from the current source IS1 is downward through the 100 ohm resistor. What I want to say is, in step 1, just as you know the superposition, the basic condition and basic rule, you can active only one of the active source. Here two sources, one is IS1 and one IS2. First, step 1, make active of IS1. IS1 is going to be active, IS2 is going to be replaced with this internal resistance. So since it is non-ideal, sorry, since it is ideal, ideal voltage source, the resistance of the current, so the resistance of current source, sorry, the resistance of ideal current source is infinity, as you know. So since it is going to be replaced with the infinity, means it is going to be open circuited like this IS2. Then after the open circuiting of these terminals, then switch on this primary source. Switch on this primary source means IS1. As soon as the switching on this primary source, the current is moving towards this node. Let me take this node 1. So since this is open circuit, current never flows through the open circuit. So the total current is going to be, means the total current is drawn by 100 amps, 100 ohms only. So hence 10 milliamps current flowing through 100 ohms is also 10 milliamps. So that is step 1. So total, find the current through the 100 ohms. So since step 1, the current flowing through this is 100 milliamps. Let me add this point clearly. One moment. Let me take a screenshot. So let me take this screenshot. Then we can do this in MS Paint software. Then you can understand very easily. So this is, I took a screenshot of this diagram. So now I'm starting from here. So here I'm going to be taking first step one. Step one, IS1 is going to be active. So IS1 is going to be active. IS2 is going to be deactivated, means it's cancelled. This is active. So this is step one. In step one, the total, as soon as this active, the current will not flow through this. Means this is a open circuit. Since this is a open circuit, the total current will not flow through, will not divided to this. Sorry, the current will not divided to this two terminals. The total current will always traveling to the least resistance path, because this is highest resistance path compared to 100 ohms. This is more resistance since this is an open circuit. So the entire current is traveling through this 100 milliamps, that is downwards direction. Please, direction is very important. IS1, the direction of IS1 which is flowing through the 100 ohms resistor is, so for the better, try to find the 100 ohms resistor while you are activating of S1 source is how much how much current? 100, sorry, not 100, 10, sorry, 10 milliamps. 10 milliamps of current which is traveling through this element, right? Then now this is step one. Now step two. What is step two? In step two, let me add this, the direction is downwards. Let me add this direction is downwards. This is step one. Now step two, in IS1 and IS2, IS1 and IS2, IS2 is going to be activated, IS1 is going to be deactivated, means that this is open circuit. In this condition, how my total current is going to be traveling, means this is open circuit, right? So I'm going to be opening this. Since this is open circuit, I'm going to be removing this. As soon as the switching on the primary source, sorry, secondary source, that is IS2, and the primary source is open circuited as per my superposition rules. So since as soon as the switching on the supply, the total current is traveling through this 100 ohms. The total current is traveling through the 100 ohms from here, like this direction. The total current is traveling through in this direction, means 3 milliamps current is traveling through the 100 ohms in upward direction, like this. So hence the current through the 100 ohms with the due to source of 2 is 3 milliamps. Hence, how much current, how much the differentiates current will traveling through this 100 ohms. For the finding of the differentiates currents, you should depend upon the two conditions. Here I explained clearly. Right. For this, to get the total current through the 100 ohms resistor, subtract the smaller current from the larger, because they are in opposite directions. See, here one is downwards, one is upwards. This is case 1 and this is case 2. In the case 1 and case 2, if you merge this case 1 and case 2, both these cases, you will get one diagram. In this diagram, for one direction is downwards, that is 10 milliamps, and one direction is upwards, that is 3 milliamps. So finally I want to know how much is current that is flowing through this 100 ohms resistor when these two sources are active. For the finding of that, you should subtract this smaller value from larger value of current. Then the total current which is traveling through the 100 ohms resistor is I100 of S1 minus I100 of S2. Then 10 milliamps minus 3 is equals to 7 milliamps of current which is traveling through 100 ohms resistor. So that part I got the answer. So this is way of doing these types of problems. So in this problem, the important thing is just observe the circuit, how the current here you are not added any steps, just you observe the same amps of current you mentioned flowing through the 100 ohms resistor. Means here the 10 milliamps current is mentioned in downwards, here and 3 milliamps comes you mentioned in upwards. So the downward and upward the directions is important to make the equivalent current which is traveling, which is passing through the your required resistors. So here the important thing is observation of your circuit, right? So this is about this problem. Here one more problem, find the current through R2 resistor. Here the mixed sources I used. This is also by using superposition theorem only. Let me solve this problem. Let me take the circuit. The question is, find the current. Here I mentioned question. Find the current through R2 resistor. Here this is R2 in the same direction by using superposition theorem. By using superposition theorem, with the help of MS Paint, I am going to be solving this problem. Please kindly observe here carefully. For this, I use mixed sources. Here one voltage source, one current source with the values of 10 volts and 100 milliamps. First, as per my rules, step 1, right? Step 1 or case 1. So let me draw the line over here, then you can, so you confuse maybe use different color. So this is common line. Right. First, here how many active sources? 2 active sources. One is Vs. Sorry. One is Vs. Another one is Is. But case 1, make any one of the active sources is need to be considered. Another source is going to be replaced with their internal resistances. Please, you should mention this wording clearly. I will repeat it again. Consider any one of the active sources by replacing the another voltage, another source with their internal resistances. If that is a ideal voltage source, you can replace with the uh, internal resistance 0, or if it is ideal current source, you can replace with the internal resistance infinity, means short circuiting or open circuiting respectively. Here, so I'm going to be activating the source of Vs by taking, this is deactivating, means not considering. I'm going to be considering only one active source. So this is source is going to be replaced with this internal resistance. For this internal resistance, there is no internal resistance here mentioned. So since there is no internal resistance mentioned, so it is, I'm going to be considering it is a ideal voltage, ideal current source. So I'm going to be replaced with this ideal current source with their internal resistance. What is the internal resistance of ideal current source? infinity. So I'm going to be removing, right. So I am making open circuiting of this. So this is open circuit. Right, sorry. Right. For this, now as soon as you switching on the supply, sorry, as soon as you switch on the supply, this will permit to flowing of current, that is current is I source or I1 current. Since this is open circuit, means as soon as the current reaching this point, there are two ways, one this way and this way, but since this way is open circuit, means the current never flow this way, so the total current always flowing through this path. So hence I1 is equals to I2. So I'm going to be writing this equation. I1 is equals to I2 is equals to I1 is equals to I2 is equals to, what is Ohm's law principle? V is proportional to I. Then here I is equals to V by R. How much voltage I? 10 volts by how much resistance? Here the two resistors are connected in series or parallel. Obviously these two resistances connected are in series, because in this there is no flowing of current. Then this is open circuit. So you can remove this circuit. You can remove this circuit like this. You can remove this circuit directly. If you are you can remove this circuit directly, right? So so that is the reason I am removing, but sometimes it's not looking good, so I am reworking that. Hence here I1 is equals to I2 is equals to 10 by the resistance is R1 plus R2. Here the resistance are 220 and 100, then it would be 320. Then some of the current which is flowing through this, so we can find this current 10 by 320, it will be 0.03125. So this is for case 1. Now let's see in case 2 by taking this circuit. Zero point zero three one two. So the current direction is downwards for this. Let me show the direction over here. In case 2, this is case 2. Let me draw the line over here. In these two sources, one is Vs, another one is Is. I'm going to be considered only one of the active source. Already I considered Vs, so this is not, I'm going to be removing by inserting this, by replacing their internal resistance. So I'm going to be considering this Is. So this Vs is going to be replaced with this internal resistance. How I'm going to be replaced? By removing this voltage source with the thick line. So I'm going to be replaced with this thick line. This is short circuit. So I'm short circuiting this path. Now, right. So this is replaced with the short circuiting because the internal resistance, ideal voltage source internal resistance is 0. That is the reason I replaced with the short circuit path. Now, as soon as I switch on this current source, the current is going to be traveling in the two ways. One is in this way and another one is in this way. So for this, but I want to know the current in the I2. For the finding of I2, you should use by using the current division rule. Current division rule states? I want to know the I2 current. I2 is equals to total current, that is IS. Total current IS multiply with this opposite value of resistance. What is opposite value of resistance? Yes, opposite value of resistance R1. The total value of resistance R1 plus R2. Hence, after substituting this known values, you will get unknown value of I2. So what is the unknown value? I2 will get substituting means 100 milliamps. Don't write milli again. Your answer itself in milli itself. R1 is 220. Opposite value of resistance 220 by 220 plus 100 means 320. Then do it in calculation. 220 divided by 320 multiply with 100. You will get 68.75. 68.75 milliamps of current. Means if you write this is in milliamps, it will be 31.25 milliamps. 31.25 milliamps of current which is passing through this R2 resistor when Vs active, and when Is active 68.75 milliamps which is passing through this resistor R2. The current direction is downwards, I2. So now if you add these two currents which are in both sources are in downwards. Let me add that. Set it here itself. Add this circuit over here. So here both currents are in downwards, right? One current for this I1, I2. Sorry, I2 is with the representative of this Vs downwards. For this 100 amps also downwards. What about this current? This current value is 31.25. This current is 31.25. What about this current? 68.75. Hence, the total current which is traveling through which is passing through the R2 resistor is I of R2 is equals to I2 of source 1 Vs plus I2 of source current Is. Then addition of 31.25 plus 68.75. Then you will get total current which is passing through the 100 ohms resistor, that is R2. 68.75 plus 31.25 means 100 milliamps of current which is passing through this. So how much current total 100 milliamps of current which is passing through this I2, so which is passing through R2 resistor when two sources are in active. Hope it clear. This is way of doing the steps of problem. So let me save this. Right, hope you clear. Now let us solve one more problem. Find the current through R3. Let me add my marker. Find the current through R3 resistor. Here this is R3 and here I am using the two active sources, that is in voltage only itself. Two voltage sources, that is V1 and V2. So I'm going directly with the steps. This is step 1. In the step 1 I'm going to be considering only one active source. Another one is going to be replaced with this internal resistance. Since this is ideal because there is no internal resistance. If that is not ideal, some of the cases they used to mention like this 0.5 ohms or like this. They used to mention internal resistance like this. If they had mentioned these values of resistors, you can use this replace with this internal resistance, that is 0 ohms. 0 ohms is nothing but short circuited. V2 is short circuited. From here, this is short circuited. As soon as this short circuited, this R2 and R3 is going to be parallel, which is series with this R1. Then you will get R equivalent. I enter directly 10 into 20 by 10 plus 20, 30, which is in series with this 100. That will 6.7 will comes to be here. Means 100 plus 6.7 is nothing but 106.7. That is total R equivalent of the circuit when this is active. When this is not active. Then after that you can find the current, total current. IT is nothing but a total voltage, total supply voltage V1 by my total R equivalent. This is R equivalent. You will get 0.141. I enter directly values. But you need to be write these formulas. I add 3 for the finding, but I know the total current IT. But I want to know the current going through this R3 resistor, this resistor. So for the finding of R3, so I should depend upon this current division rule, total current multiply with this opposite value of resistance. For this R3, the opposite value V means the divided current value of resistor R2 by my total resistor R2 plus R3. Then you will get this current 94 milliamps of current which is passing through the 10 ohms resistor, means R3. Now this is for the case 1. Now I am going to be considering as a case 2 for this same problem. Case 2. In case 2, I am going to be short circuiting of this internal resistance by 0 ohms here. V1 short circuited. For V2 is going to be activating, since this is plus and minus, you need to be mentioned plus and minus. I straight activating, the current is traveling in this direction, but here the same direction which is measured in our V1 itself. So, but R3 is both the cases, the current is in downward direction in case 1 and case 2. As soon as this current is traveling over here, but here you need to be measured R equivalent for the finding of R equivalent. This R1 and R3 are parallel. The result of R1 and R3, which is series with the R2, means R equivalent is equals to R2 plus R13. R13 is nothing but you should write like this. R13 is nothing but R1 R3 by R1 plus R3. You should write like this. Just substitute these values of this suffixes into common. Here you are maintaining suffix of 1 and 3, which is parallel R13 by R1 plus R3. That is R equivalent. means equivalent value of resistors. Then this equivalent value, then this R13 which is series with R2, then the total resistance will be of the circuit when V2 is active 29.09. 29.009. Now you know the value of voltage and total resistance. Then you can find easily current, total current IT, means this current IT. For the finding of current, you should you should know the voltage and current. Already you know these values of VT, and you know the voltage and resistance. The resistance value already you know 29.09. After dividing 13 by 29.09, you will get 0.447, means 447 milliamps, which is input current of this R3. But here you want to know the finding of current through the R3 element. Use the current division rule. Current division rule is nothing but a total current, which is multiplied with the opposite value of resistance by total value of resistance. Here the total current is 0.447, which is multiplied with opposite value of resistance 100 by total resistance 100 plus 10, then 110. Then you will get total, then you will get current flowing through the R3 resistor, that is 0.406. Now you got two currents. One is one current with the reference of V1, one current with the reference of V2. So now you need to be add these two currents. Here. With V2 shorted, so you got, here I mentioned, with the V2 shorted you got first current IR3. Right, both currents are downward directions. Here that is mentioned wrongly. Both currents are down. If you observe these diagrams, observe the diagram carefully. The current direction of this downward, the current direction of this downward. The both currents are downward directions. So this is given wrong indication. This mentioned current path is downwards. So since the both currents are downward directions, then you need to be add these two currents. One is for 0.094 based on the V1 activation. One is 0.406 based on the consideration of V2. So since these two currents, IR3 is equals to 0.094 plus 0.406, hence the total current which is traveling through the R3 resistor when two sources are active, 0.5 amps. This is way of solving the problem by using superposition theorem. But here you need to be understand few lines. With 0.5 amps flowing in R3, the voltage across R3 must be 5 volts, right? Means how the 5 volts will become comes to the picture, means V3 is equals to, means the voltage drop across this R3 is nothing but a current and resistance, right? 10 into 0.5, then 5 volts will be appear across this R3 resistor. That is based on the Ohm's law. The voltage across R1 must therefore be 10 volts, right? 10 volts, because maximum voltage drop, this is 10. Whatever we are giving the voltage, which need to be distributed into the two consumable elements. One is R1 and R3. But here one consumable element is 5, means 5 volts. The remaining voltage is 10 volts. 10 volts KVL, and based on the KVL loop equation, what I mentioned is KVL. Means this input current is, the input voltage is going to be utilized in the form of a drop. Here 10 volts is, if here it's consumed 5 volts, means the remaining 10 volts obviously consumed by R1 ohms itself only. So, and the voltage across R2 must be 8 volts, right? Since this is 8 volts, how here I am giving supplying of 13 volts, right? Here I am giving the supply of 13 volts. Since this is 13 volts, since this is 13 volts, the 5 volts already. Here you need to understand clearly, whatever you are giving supply of this 13 volts is need to be utilized in these two resistors. One is R3, one is R2. Here already you know this R3 is utilized 5 volts. The remaining of 8 volts must be utilized this R2. That is only the KVL is going to be satisfied. Whatever the input of this supply voltage is need to be, input of supply EMFs is need to be equal to of the dropping voltage, means voltage drops I into R is equals to 0. Summation of voltage drops must be equal to 0. That is KVL statement. And the voltage across R2 must be 8 volts. Solving for the current in R1 and R2 will verify that solution agree with KCL or not. Let me solve the current here. So just for the checking and your solution is correct or wrong, this is for the verification purpose only. This is only for verification method. How you are going to be verified? By using this procedure only. This procedure only purely for verification only. Here for the finding of the you must get 0.5 amps by taking the consideration of this voltage and current. So this voltage and resistance, and this voltage and resistance, you must get current flowing through this element. So how much current is flowing through this R1? You will get means for the finding of current flowing through the R1, I1 is equals to V1 by 100 means 0.1, means 10 by 100.1. What about this I2 means R2? I2 is equals to V2 by R2 means 8 by 20. I think you will get 0.4. So IR1 is equals to 0.1, IR2 is equals to 0.4. Then you will get 0.5. IR3 is equals to 0.1 plus 0.4. Then the 0.5, this direction is wrong, please. Sorry for that, the direction is downwards. IR3 is downwards direction. Then the total current which is passing through this 10 ohms resistor is 0.1 ampere plus 0.4 amps is equals to 0.5 amps. This is for the verification of your answer. Your answer is correct or not. You can verify by dividing your supply voltage into the various elements. Whatever the passive elements are there, you can divide this supply voltage into the known parameters values. Already you know these values. Since you know these values, by using this value you can name it. You can name this voltage across this resistor, and by using this you can name this voltage across this R2 resistor. Then if you know the voltage and the resistor, then you can find the current flowing through this particular resistors easily by adding this current flowing through this R1 and R2. These two currents are entering to the R3, hence R3 will be summation of currents. The finding of current through the R3 element is summation of current flowing through the R1 and the R2. So this is the verification of your answer is correct or wrong. Hope you clear. Then next, let me see the few limitations. Not few. One of the main important limitation of superposition theorem is this theorem is not applicable for the power. For the measurement of power, you can't apply this theorem. This is very important point. You should note on this point. This is very important, and this is the most repeated point in multiple choice questions where who are preparing for the government jobs. These types of question comes to your on your objective types. So you should remember superposition theorem not applicable for the measurement of power. Why? Because this is the proof. This is the proof. Why? Because we can't apply for the power, because this is the current and voltage are squared. Because for the measurement of power, P is equals to VA, right? Means if you comes this right side part into the one uniform way, V is nothing but IR. I is nothing I square R, right? Again square. If you come, this is in terms in all in terms in voltage, V square by R. Since the power is proportional to square of the current and voltage, right? Since power is proportional to square of the voltage and current, so if that is in square, you can't apply it to the non-linear parameters, because the square is means that is a non-linear elements. As per our statement says linear bilateral elements only we can apply. So since the linear means this is not comes under the category of linear if you measure in if you doing measurement in power. So that is the reason I added this explanation for this. Please kindly observe here. So I am removing this unnecessary markers. So here, so I am taking three different cases. One is for the measurement of power by using I1, means whenever the current passing through this I1 element P1, when the first active first source is going to be active, V1, the current is going to be measured through this R1. Then same for this same resistor, I am using the V2, right? V1 and V2. The current is going to be measured. For the measurement of V1, you should, for the measurement of power by using V1 supply, you will get power P1 is equals to I1 square R. For the measurement of P2, you will get power into I2 square R. Since if you want to measure total current by measurement of I1 plus I2, as you know, total current is nothing but a for the measurement of I1 plus I2 only. For this, IT is equals to I1 plus I2. The power delivered to the circuits are, for this first circuit, P1 is delivered. For second circuit, P2 is delivered. For the third circuit, PT is delivered. PT means total power. But while you are measuring of total power, for the measurement of total power, you can addition of this P1 plus P2. How much power is consumable in two different sources? You can use P is equals to P1 plus P2, right? Means P1 is nothing but a I1 square R, P2 is nothing but a I2 square R, right? But here, for the measurement of PT, for the measurement of PT, it should be IT square R. This is one case. Please keep this case in one side. PT is equals to IT square R. But what is the meaning of IT? What is the value of IT? IT is nothing but I1 plus I2, right? I1 plus I2 is nothing but A plus B whole square. I1 square plus I2 plus 2 I1 I2 R. Since this is not equal to this actual power P1 plus P2, right? Actual power is I1 square R2 plus I2 square R2. Since PT is equals to not equals to P1 plus P2. That is the reason this is not applicable to for the measurement of power. PT not equals to P1 plus P2. Since P1 is nothing but a, in individually P1 is equals to I1 square R. In individually P2 is equals to I2 square. When you combine P1 plus P2 of this individual powers, it will give the answer of I1 square R plus I2 square R. But if the total power which is giving the supply means, if you adding these two voltage sources means by making activation of these two voltage sources across these two elements V1 and V2 like this, V1 and V2 like this, just assume like this, the total power which is traveling through this PT, you can measure PT is equals to IT square R. But if you want to measure PT by using P1 and P2, it can't, it is not satisfying this P1 plus P2 of your PT. So that is the reason you can't apply superposition theorem for the measurement of power, right? Hope you clear. So this is one limitation, one important limitation for the superposition theorem, and the total power must be determined using the total current, not the superposition theorem. So you should remember this point clearly. Hope you clear this analysis also. And so I want to give one assignment to you. Please kindly solve this problem. Find the current through the R3. Here the R3 is there. Try to solve this problem. This is here the R3 is there. So this is find the current flowing through the R3. Let me name it as this is I3. This is your task, right? Let me make this is assignment for you. So by using superposition theorem, you should solve this problem step by step. In here, how many active sources? Two active sources. Please consider and write every step in wording and in circuit basis also. And on your final circuit, please mention the direction of current and the total current which is drawn by this R3 in different directions. Hope you clear. Right. Thank you. Thank you, one and all. Thanks for your patience. Have a good day. Bye bye.